This is a presentation by CRA LA.
I got a point of order.
Yes.
Okay. That meeting that the executive board attended was posted only 24 hours. The public did not receive adequate 72-hour notice, and the previous meeting to that was agendized without 15 postings the way the bylaws required. And then the very next day, another meeting was set up on a 24-hour notice. It's a point of order. But I'm saying that executive board meeting, what I'm asking is the executive board meeting that took place was illegal, and I would like for the agenda to be rejected. That's it.
Okay, the agenda has been approved, and we have moved on from there. So you have mute comment at this time. The action item is going to be presented by CRLA. Then there will be public comment. And if you wish to be one of the speakers on this action item, please sign up and ask to be a speaker on number Roman numeral 6A. And we will take you in order as I'm given the slip. Yes,
I would like to know why he can't say what he wants to say.
No,
because we're here.
Understand, that was a point of order. It was just a procedural thing that I requested. That's it. Just let it go.
Okay. No, because we already approved the agenda and we was speaking after the action. Okay, presentation of the action item.
Excuse me, my hands are up for about 5 minutes.
No, I haven't been on the item for 5 minutes. Let's see.
I want to make a motion. I'm a member of the board and she has another motion. Yeah. I want to make 2 related motions. Here's a copy of the first one.
Is there enough copies for everyone?
We're not required to. Last time we've done it before, we handed you one and read it and accepted it. Motion to form ad hoc bylaws committee and postpone bylaw agenda. The PAC hereby creates a 3-person ad hoc bylaws committee to consider, study, and recommend a change to the PAC bylaws. 2 members of the committee to be selected by vote of the PAC, one of whom shall be voted chairperson of the ad hoc bylaws committee. The 3rd member per the PAC bylaws shall be Vicky Castro. The agenda item regarding the CRA's proposed bylaw changes shall be postponed until the report is received from the ad hoc committee and the PAC votes in a regular PAC meeting to put it on the agenda for the next regular PAC meeting. The PAC directs that all meetings of the ad hoc bylaws committee shall be in public and voluntarily meet the requirements of the Brown Act for public meetings. The related motion, which I'll ask for.
We have to go one by one?
Okay. No, but these are 2 related motions that obviously should be discussed in issue here.
Is it one motion or 2 motions?
It's a sub-motion.
So like an amendment? Or?
It's a sub-motion. If you look in Robert's Rule of Order, they allow sub-motion. Here's a copy. The sub-motion is this. It's called a motion for the PAC to obtain independent legal counsel. The PAC hereby requests that the CRA-LA immediately supply funds for independent legal counsel for California Health and Safety Code Section 33388 to advise the PAC about the PAC bylaw changes that the CRA management and its attorney have proposed, as well as any other relevant matters per Section 33388 and 33386 of the law. And now I'd like to ask to speak to both motions, of course, after there's
a second.
And, okay, is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Okay, it has been moved to second, and I'm going to take it all as one motion. So
I propose them as 2 separate motions, and it's possible somebody might disagree with the first one and accept the second.
okay, then I would have to take them to vote independently.
Okay, take the vote.
So then.
I just want to make sure the vote on separately.
Okay, if you want a separate vote, then there's separate
That's okay.
motions. Okay, so we're on motion to form an ad hoc bylaws committee and postpone the bylaws agenda item. Okay, is there any comment to this, public comment to this?
Wait a second. Before public comment, we're allowed to speak. And for Robert's Rules of Order, I'm allowed to speak, making a motion.
Oh, okay. I read the bylaws, the existing bylaws.
I'm reading now from the state law that creates CRAs and PACs and says how they have to be done, so people rely on it.
Then I need guidance from legal counsel.
Oh, according to Robert's Rules, I'm allowed to speak to my own motion.
I am not denying you the right to speak. I was trying to follow the current bylaws, which states that there would be public comment prior to our discussion.
Okay.
and our vote, so that's all I was trying to get to.
But I thought it was prior to the vote, not prior to our discussion. That's the way I read bylaws.
Well, I guess it's then, I'm asking that prior to the vote that we do hear from the.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you.
Okay,
I want you to
so-
hear from anybody who
so
wants to
that-
speak, because I think these people will be an interesting impact on what's going to happen.
Exactly, so I would like to hear from the public prior to our discussion, so that those of us that are not immersed in the motion that you prevent,
But you're
just.
breaking Robert's Rules of Order, and the bylaws don't state the public one first, so I understand I can't speak to my motion. How do they know what it's about?
You read it to us.
I didn't get to speak to my motion according to Robert's Rules. You're the head of the school board of the city of LA. You know
what?
Robert's Rules.
I know my past just as well as
These
anyone
people
else.
might not know how well you know the Robert's Rules of Orders. I just want to make sure they understand.
I am trying to take public comment. And is there any other concern from any other board members before I take public comment?
Wait, no, I don't understand to let somebody else speak, but.
Because you guys are confusing.
Okay.
To be real honest.
Good. We're doing our job then.
Let the public talk.
This is way
That's right,
too
I
much
think so, too.
information for people to digest. We're talking about in a group of 14 at a single meeting with public comment. It's just too much to do in one session.
I'm not arguing, so now since you took the liberty to speak, I guess I will have to call on Mike.
Great.
Okay.
The bottom line is, I'm looking out for you guys. None of you have a copy of the damn change in the bylaws. More than half the bylaws are going to be changed.
They do have a
And
copy.
They do now.
You're speaking out of order. Excuse me, I point of order.
Okay, well, they
You're not
do.
a member of the committee, you're not allowed to speak. The bottom line is the state of California has a wonderful law. They have a wonderful set of laws. They have the Brown Act. It says about public meetings, which the board has not been doing with their PAC executive meetings, secret phone meetings. We know, you're able to change that temporarily for one meeting, please. But the bottom line is, the state law that sets up these committees for your benefit, to allow you to have public input. These people are supposed to speak for you and listen to you and speak to the people from the CRA. The bottom line, that law states the following, I'm quoting right from the state law, 33388. Upon recommendation of the Project Area Committee, funds as determined necessary by the legislative body for the operation of the Project Area Committee should be allocated to the committee by the legislative body. This allocation shall include funds or equivalent resources for committee office, equipment and supplies, legal counsel, and adequate staff for the purposes set forth in section 33386. Now I'm going to quote 33386. 33386, again, the state law that sets us all up here to protect you guys. The redevelopment agency through its staff, consultants, and agency members shall, upon the direction of an approval legislative body, consult with and obtain the advice of the Project Area Committee concerning these policy matters which deal with the planning and provision of residential facilities or replacement housing for those to be displaced by project activities. The agency shall also consult with the committee on other policy matters that affect the residents of the project area, you guys. The provision of this section shall apply throughout the period of preparation of the redevelopment plan and for a 3-year period after the adoption of the redevelopment plan, subject to 1-year extensions of the legislative body. You guys need to get independent legal advice, and this board needs independent legal advice, not from the city attorney who, according to city law, represents the city of LA. They're not prosecutors in this case. Ms. Arculeta represents the city of LA, not your interests. The state law that sets you guys up says you have the right to get legal advice. How can we take bylaws, that half of which are being thrown out or changed in ways we can't possibly understand? I'm not an attorney. How can these people understand it with a public hearing with an attorney representing their interests and your interests to explain what the hell they're doing, not from a perspective of an attorney that represents the CRA, who these bylaw changes will absolutely make them amazingly powerful when you're able to talk.
Okay, since we have heard from 2 board members prior to public comment, I'm going to give the courtesy to any other member that wishes to speak now. If there's no other member that wishes to speak now, we will go to public comment. Since we have allowed 2 board members to speak. And I have the names here. So are there any other board members that wish to speak at this time? Hearing none, we will now move.
I want to say something.
Yes.
Information.
Well, I don't know, I don't speak for everybody here, but we're not privy to the backstory here as to why these proceedings from the very beginning have been so contentious. I'm a little bit, kind of annoyed by it, but I'd like to know if you could maybe get to the point, what are these secret meetings about? And what is it that you're after?
Am I allowed to speak?
Before you,
Since
we
we
go.
have, maybe,
Right.
I always see it as an effort to commandeer the entire process. And we're not moving on with the business here. Okay, there's a couple people talking from the public and then you two. That's what happens every meeting. And I think we need to, if I may make a motion, I think we need to end this once and for all and move on with our jobs.
Yeah, please.
At this point, I'm going to allow everyone the opportunity to speak, if they wish to speak, because we have allowed that for certain board members, and then we will go to public comment.
What I feel.
And then I'll entertain any other amendment or motion, or I don't know what I'm going to do.
So I shouldn't respond to him to the question you pointed for.
Not until everyone, we're going to do a first round. Okay, we're going to do a first round. Is there any, we're going to.
I
do a
like what he said, because
Okay,
all of
we're
you right
going to
here
take public
are here for
comment.
us.
Right, we're going to take public comment right now. Mike and Chris have decided that they wanted to speak before the public, so we are now going to afford all PAC members the same courtesy, and then I will take public comment. Are there any other PAC members that wish to speak at this point? No. Okay, now I have a second motion that, if you could sort of state your motion again, and then I'll ask for,
You need a third motion.
My motion?
you would have your first motion. I told you that I was going to take one at a time because you wanted separate votes. And then he is proposing.
I'd like to not be leaguered in technicalities, to the extent that the meetings are dominated by a kind of bullying process here. I'd just like to see us move on with real business and not get, stuck in this. I don't see any other issues coming forward with meeting after meeting. They're one a month.
So your amendment would propose what?
That we find a way together today to move on from what we've been arguing over these meetings, these videotapes.
What's the difference?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna rule that yours is more of a comment.
It's a
I-
comment.
And that we
It's just a
encourage
hope.
you to listen to your
It's
comment.
just a hope.
Okay, and it's a hope. I